Today I'm excited to show you guys how to make Afghani manto, or we can call it Afghani dumpling. It's the best and delicious recipe. If you make this for your family, I guarantee you they're gonna love it and they're gonna enjoy it the way that we always love and enjoy this meal. We make this dumpling, or this we call it manto, in our gatherings and our celebrations. Our celebrations are not complete without having this food or this recipe in our menu. We must have it and everybody enjoys it. So I'm going to show you guys how to make this. I want you guys to make it and enjoy it the way we do. So let's start making the recipe, and we're going to start making the ingredients first for filling the manto. Let's start. To make this delicious manto filling, we need to make everything ready first. Number one thing you have to ready is your onion. For this amount of meat I'm going to use today, I'm taking 12 medium onions because we must add lots of onions, and depends on the size of the meat, which you're gonna see how much I put later on. You're gonna chop the onion in a food processor. Let it set in the onion water, because when you're crushing or chopping the onion, it will gonna give you the onion juice. So let it sit for a while, at least for 5 or 6 minutes. After that, you're gonna take the onion from it and you squeeze as much as you can all the water out from the onions. So we make sure that we're gonna not add the onions water to our meat, because what happened is this is the one that's going to change your meat's flavor if you put them with the water. So we're gonna take the water out and we're gonna divide it in a 3-part or 4 parts. So you're gonna put them in a 4 different dishes, or you can keep them in a same dish, but you're gonna use them in a 3 different or 4 different parts. Then we are going to make our pot ready and make sure it's hot, and we are adding it. For this amount of meat, I'm adding 5 tablespoons of oil. Then I'm adding my meat. This is the amount of meat I'm going to use. It's a very small one, and you're gonna put the meat without adding anything to it. After it's became a little bit sauteed, you're going to add your first part of onion with your garam masala. No salt. Just add the onion with your garam masala, let it saute it a little bit. Then you're gonna see that color of the meat is more changed and it's more brown. And that's the time that you're gonna put your second part of your onion. And the reason we are doing this, we wanna give our manto filling lots of flavor. And the only time that manto will gonna have good flavor if your onion is properly cooked or properly add in the meat. Of course, the spices also have a rule, but your onion is number one. When you're adding the second part of your onion, what you're gonna do, you are going to add, after mixing a little bit, you're gonna add your salt. So this is the time that you're gonna add your salt and let it saute a little bit again with your meat. And as you can see here, because I squeeze the water, look, there is no water inside my meat, which is that's we want. We want a sauteed onion and ground beef. We don't want a juicy one, because if it is more juicy, what's going to happen? Because we don't want to put that water inside our dumpling when we fill it. So we have to squeeze the water out. And when you're squeezing the water out, basically you're throwing all the flavors out. That's why some people, they says my manto fillings is different, because it makes sure we don't have the water inside our manto. If there is a little bit, okay, no problem. But more than that, it's not going to make your manto tasty. Like I said, you're going to add them in 3 different parts. You keep adding it. Make sure you're going to keep at it, and I'm going to show you guys here in the video what size should be your onion, because if you have less onion, more meat, when you're going to put your dumpling and fill your dumpling or mantos, when it's cooked, if it's more meat, it will be like a ball. We don't want that. We want a loose manto, and the only way you can get a loose manto when our onion is more than the meat, which is supposed to be like that. So as you seeing here, I'm adding my 3rd part of onion. And in between, there's not a lot of time, maybe 2 3 minutes. I add, mix it. 3 minutes later, or 2 minutes. If you're the first time and you really want to use that clock, okay, 3 minutes later you're gonna add your other one. 3 minutes later you're gonna add another second part. So by the time you finish your third or fourth part of your onion, look at the size. This is you can have this size or smaller than this, but not less than that. So like even I show you guys here, it's just the size of the onion is almost around half of my index or a thumbnail. As sometime when you're watching some other videos on YouTube or somewhere else, you will notice that people, they add the whole onion together at the beginning with the meat, but they're not gonna have this result. When you're adding all the onions inside the meat in one time, by the time meat is cooked, the onion will release all their juices and your dumpling filling will have more water. That's why I'm putting it in a separate time, because I want to make sure there is no water, and also I want to make sure there is different size of onion, because the one that you sauteed at first will be more crushed than the one that you're adding to the end, and this will gonna give us a very nice and loose dumpling. Check the meat for the salt, for the spice. If you think there's less black pepper, if you think you need to add more black pepper, more salt, more garam masala, do it. Depend on your flavor, then you what how much you want to put. Sometimes I put more and you don't like to put more. Sometimes I put less and you guys want to put more spices. So taste your dumpling mix and see if you need to add anything else in it, or otherwise you go with exactly what I show you here if your meat is exactly the same amount. So again, there is no strict rule for it. You can do as much as you want, and you can see now it's the end of after I add my fourth part of onion. Look at my dumpling is very nice and loose. The color is very nice and brown, and my onions, or you can see it. You can see different size of onion. And now we are ready to fill our dumpling. If you have a very busy schedule and you cannot make your dumpling sheets at home, you can find this one exactly the way you can see it right now from supermarkets, and buy it from there, and you can use it. Any supermarkets, they have it. So the way you're doing it is you're gonna grab a tray or a plate or anything. It depends on size of your meat. Make it ready. Spray it with the oil. If you don't have a spray oil, just put a little bit, brush a little bit oil, and also you need a little bit of water beside it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab the water and we wrap the water around the dumpling sheet, and this is the very simple and easy way that you're gonna fold your dumpling. There's a lots of different sizes, I mean a style that you can use, but I'm showing you guys a very simple one, especially if it's your first time, so I don't want to make you confused. And this is the simple way that you're going to round or shape your manto. And make sure when you put them in there, they are tight completely. They shouldn't be open from the top. So water only around it, not in the middle, just around it. You put manto, you put your finger in the middle of the dumpling and fold it. It is the easy way, believe me, and it's a simple way. And once when you learn, you can use different shapes when you like it. After your mantou fillings are done, you can keep them the way it is in your plate or trays and keep them in a freezer till they are frozen. And from there, you remove it and put them in a Ziploc bag and keep it always in a freezer. And anytime you want it, take it out from freezer and cook it to eat.